Dr. McGuire, great to be speaking with you today. I wonder, can you elaborate on how non-adherence impacts the ability to demonstrate effect size in clinical trials? And maybe if you've got any examples of the consequences where that has unfortunately not happened?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm missing out on a medication that fortunately did get approved for postpartum depression, but not for a condition that's more common, and that is for major depressive disorder. We verily, I think, of a potential therapeutic option with a different mechanistic action was the zuranolone trials from Sage. And the phase 3 Mountain study in this treatment for major depressive disorder, even though the data show a 98% adherence rate, however we measure that, and we'll talk more about how there's a lack of preciseness, if I may say, in how we measure adherence in these clinical trials. Despite that, the study failed to show separation between intervention and control groups, yet it did in postpartum depression. But going back, what is it? This is a therapeutic that could have a game-changing impact on so many patients with major depressive disorder. But without that indication, I'm not going to be able to really. And going back on the data, looking back at a post hoc, revealed that 9% of the patients really had no detectable drug concentration due to the non-adherence, we believe. And so when you take those non-adherent patients out of the trial, there was a significant difference in the primary outcome versus placebo. And if we had better control for adherence and identified those subjects earlier, taken them out of the trial, not including them in the final analysis, we could have had another medication on the market, really a medication with a really different mechanistic profile working on GABA, which is something that many of our patients could benefit from. But when we take them out, there should have been, that we would have seen a separation from active medication to placebo. Beyond the financial impact, Sage Therapeutics only lost the projected peak annual sales of over $1 billion, about over 1.3 billion projected loss. They had to lay off 40% of their workforce. Their market cap fell by over $6 billion. I look at the impact on what that could have meant to the patient population with depression to take a medication for 2 weeks and not have to take something every single day beyond that for a significant period of time, but that's lost. I don't think we're going to get that back. It's a lot of funding is put into these clinical trials, but it comes down to one variable. You do everything you can to get good interrelated reliability. You have all these CRAs and clinical research associates coming out reviewing the data. But if you're missing the primary, which is some of the subjects are not really taking the medication when you believe they are, the data's gone. It's gone. There's another one, which is Spruce Biosciences study before adult congenital adrenal hyperplasia. And the trial failed to achieve its primary efficacy endpoint. And they pointed to non-adherence as a cause, lower than expected medication exposure. So the remainder of the trial was terminated, the 83% drop in stock price, and 20% workforce layoffs. These examples remind us of the importance in clinical trials and all the money that's put into the basic science, the discovery, clinical trial design, placebo control, sometimes washout. All that is thrown out the window without one clear variable that's not adequately controlled. And it's really the most important variable, which is medication adherence.
Oh, that's great. There clearly is a gap or a weakness in the clinical trial space around this, given what we've seen with Sage and Spruce and who knows who else as well.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.